You're dead, not bad.
That is not my talk.
They are not going to come down.
Are you going to stop us?
Yes.
Hi, I'm David Willis, and you're watching Encore. Let me throw a couple of concepts at you here. Steven Spielberg and strange creatures. Put those two together, and you're pretty much going to have a hit movie. Our next feature is no exception, Gremlins. No, it's not about those really, really ugly cars made in the 70s. Whoa, what a scary movie that would be. It is, of course, the 1984 classic about a little cute furry critter called a mogwai that's all lovable and sweet. But as the ad campaign said, don't get them wet, because when you do, they reproduce. And the new ones are not lovable. They're vicious, mean, and nasty. Now, if you didn't see this movie when it came out, well, you're one of the few, since it grossed over $100 million in the first 6 weeks of release. Steven Spielberg produced this movie, which was directed by Joe Dante, who had done The Howling and Piranha. That's Piranha with an exclamation point, folks. What do they mean when they put an exclamation point there? What are you supposed to do? Just say the word excited, like piranha? Or are you just supposed to like look like you saw an exclamation point? Piranha. I don't know. In fact, Spielberg hired Joe Dante to direct this movie because he saw Piranha and said that it was the best of all the Jaws ripoffs. Well, Dante thanked Spielberg by including references to Spielberg films in Gremlins. For instance, a movie marquee shows the titles A Boy's Life and Watch the Skies. What? You never heard of those movies? Well, they were the original titles of Close Encounters of the Third Kind and E.T. Do I know stuff or what? Also, look for a billboard advertising a local disc jockey. It looks almost exactly like an Indiana Jones poster. This movie is a lot of fun to watch, but it wasn't so much fun to make sometimes because each little gremlin puppet was mechanically controlled by a system of cables and wires which were connected to 5 humans lying on the floor somewhere off camera. Of course, the little monsters were technically temperamental, with cables breaking down and parts wearing out. So it wasn't exactly easy for the human actors working with them. Dante told the actors that for the movie to work, the actors had to really believe that the critters were alive. Phoebe Cates, who co-starred with Zach Galligan, said she didn't have any trouble because they were frightening looking to her. She said, quote, "Let's put it this way. It would have been harder to act like I wasn't intimidated by them. Most of the time, they really had me scared." Oh, Phoebe, what a brave girl. Zach Galligan, who got his part over Rob Lowe and Emilio Estevez, had an even tougher time because of all his scenes with Gizmo, the good gremlin, whose voice was supplied by Howie Mandel, by the way. I know stuff. Every time he's holding him, there's a whole bunch of cables strapped to his body, coming out of his shirt sleeves or his pants leg and going across the room to the technicians controlling it. The man who created these puppets is Chris Wallace, who also did the scary fish in Piranha. Wallace got interested in monsters when he saw Godzilla at the age of 8. After that, he saw all the monster movies that came out a couple of times each. Well, his research paid off because now he creates and builds monsters full-time. What a job! Well, could you imagine having that as a job? Being in some bar, you know, talking with girls, what do you do for a living? I make monsters. Whoa. Anyway, it took 7 months to get the Gremlins ready for the movie. They were made of latex, and some were even radio-controlled. A dozen gizmos had to be built, plus 14 gremlins named Stripe, the big bad monster, and plus 1 super gremlin that breathed. The most challenging scene was in the bar, with dozens of drunken gremlins fighting and drinking and smoking and throwing things around and behaving like pigs. And if you look close, you can even see one gremlin dressed up like the director. Well, all the elements came together to make this movie scary and funny. And if you did see it when it came out, it's worth seeing again just for the part where actress Frances Lee McCain defends her kitchen from the little monsters. You'll never look at your microwave the same again. By the way, it's rated PG for explicit language and violence.